In this video, we're going to share with you the untold stories of the life of Disney's favourite star, Annette Funicello, and show you some of her rare photos. Annette was dragged into the acting industry as a child by Walt Disney, and when she got there, she got herself carried away with the industry that the only time she would found rest was in a wheelchair in the grave. What happened? Let's find out while showing you some of her rare photos. Many of the television personalities you celebrate today became famous with increasing efforts towards success. But for our Annette Funicello, she stumbled into fame as a 12-year-old girl trying to overcome shyness. And this was both a blessing and a curse. Annette was a reserved young girl who was forced by her parents to take music and dance classes to help her become more sociable. In 1955, Annette Funicello performed as the Swan Queen in Swan Lake at a dance recital in Burbank, California, and that was all she needed to become successful for the rest of her life. Among the audience mesmerized by her performance was Walt Disney, who was in search of the last child for his new Mickey Mouse Club show. He quickly spoke to Annette's parents, and they agreed on a 7-year contract at $160 a week. So, Annette became the only cast member to be selected by Walt Disney himself. Annette had just one job in the Disney house, to feature in movies. But the young actress would shoot herself in the leg when she began to develop feelings for fellow Mouseketeer Lonnie Burr. This teenage romance, as much as they had hoped, was not going to last. But as Annette revealed, it gave her first kiss and possibly her first heartbreak also. Things were much brighter for her on the part of what Walt Disney paid her to do. And after the end of the first season of the Mickey Mouse Club, Annette became a fan favourite, receiving letters more than any other Mouseketeers. Annette also starred in many other series in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and you might remember her from The Adventure in Dairyland and the second and third Spin and Marty series. Even after her work at the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse ended, Annette continued working for Disney. The actress was also cast as Anita Cabrillo in the Disney television series Zorro. Everyone was having fun until Annette got uncomfortable with how things were run in the Disney house. She protested against her pay, claiming that she didn't have a lawyer when she signed the $325 per week contract. She sued, but the court refused her and mandated that she continue with Disney. But everyone knew that her days in the house were numbered. Meanwhile, over the years, Annette's relationship with Walt Disney got even more intimate, and they shared something close to a father-daughter relationship. According to the actress, Disney was the one who advised her against changing her name to Annette Turner. He feared that people might forget her, as they had gotten used to Annette. Annette also said that he cautioned her against revealing her navel in her beach movies, and to also be careful of how revealing she was in front of the camera. Not very sure that Annette heeded those words, but I am sure Walt Disney understood. Despite the level of intimacy, the actress maintained their professional relationship by only ever referring to him as Mr. Disney. After her work with Disney was done, Annette became a teen idol starring in a series of beach party movies with Frankie Avalon for American International Pictures. Her first project was the 1963 American film Beach Party, and the movie was a box office hit. It was so successful that the American International Pictures offered her a 7-year contract, and so she went on to feature in a series of beach party movies. Annette was having the time of her life, but little did she know that after this phase was a season of drought in her career. And when that season came, instead of settling for low-budget movies, the actress decided to take out time to focus on her family. Funicello faded from the screens with time, and with even more time, people struggled to remember her. Well, she might blame her family for it. We also remember that her career was not in the best place when she left. Unfortunately, Annette was not going to have it any different, even as she left the acting business to focus on family. Her first official relationship was with director Jack L. Gallardi. They met for the first time in 1965, and after a year of courtship, they decided to tie the knot. This was her first marriage, but it was not going to be the last. The couple had planned out their lives together, but they were not going to win this time. After 16 years of marriage, Annette filed for a divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. She never did address her divorce publicly, so everyone easily assumed that the demands of their career strained their relationship. Become a homemaker. When love came for the second round, her marriage with director Gilardi gave her 3 children: Gina, Portman, Jack Jr., and Jason. By 1981, the divorce papers were signed, and Annette was ready for her next romance adventure. The actress found love again in the arms of horse breeder Glenn D. Holt, and they got married in 1986. Annette enjoyed a happy marriage with Glenn until death came for her in 2013. They were married for 26 years, and she doesn't have any children from this relationship. Annette, unfortunately, did not live very long to enjoy the love for which she sacrificed her career, but she was grateful that she at least avoided the scandalous relationships and romance associated with the acting industry. However, long before death won the battle for Annette's life, several tragic events had made attempts to bring that date closer, but each time the actress was lucky enough to escape with just her life. Sometime in March 2011, Annette Funicello's house in Los Angeles caught fire while they were asleep, and before the situation was managed, the actress inhaled a lot of smoke. In an ambulance, Annette was rushed to the hospital alongside an unidentified man and woman who was said to be her nurse. After diagnosis, the doctors reported that she was in good condition as the smoke didn't get into her lungs. All attempts to identify the source of the fire failed, but the firefighters were able to extinguish the intimidating blaze in less than an hour. After the fire incident, Annette and her husband Holt moved to a modest ranch they had bought decades earlier in the south of Southern California, and that was where the actress spent her last days. Not many people know this, but Annette was almost in a Disney World of Oz movie. But this was just the one time when Walt Disney was unlucky. According to the popular stories, before Disney made the move to start production, another studio snatched the film rights. But Walt was not ready to take no for an answer, so he fought for the rights to the other Oz books by L. Frank Baum. In 1954, the animation producer had it all planned out. Annette was to play Princess Ozma, while fellow Mouseketeer Darlene Gillespie was to star as Dorothy. Unfortunately for Disney, this one was not just going to happen, no matter how much they tried. The best they got was the movie preview segments, which didn't seem to share in Walt Disney's pain and frustration. The actress revealed that she was more interested in The Wizard of Oz's replacement. Walt Disney finally accepted that his multi-million-dollar proposal had failed, so the film producer decided to invest The Wizard of Oz's budget in Babes in Toyland. Incidentally, Annette would confess that Babes in Toyland was her favorite movie. At the peak of her success in the film industry, Annette Funicello, the same actress seduced into the movie industry, would also be dragged into the music world, this time by her fans. Annette sang a number titled How Will I Know on television, and Disney received so much mail about the sound that they decided to make it a record. Annette was so in love with the praises she got after her first public attempt at a song that she decided not to stop. She partnered with the Sherman Brothers and continued to record singles. Tall Paul was their biggest collaboration, as it would peak at number 7 in 1959 and also became the first female-fronted rock and roll single to crack the top 10. On why she stopped music, Annette revealed that she never expected the industry to take her that seriously, and she also had no intentions of pursuing a music career. In another secret interview, Annette revealed that although music brought her significant success, she hated recording songs. According to her, it made her very uncomfortable. So for most of her sounds, which are celebrated today, Annette revealed the way they were recorded, and it was anything but convenient. I would sing the first time, and then I'd sing to myself, and then they would add a lot of echo chambers to it, Annette explained. So when acting failed, Annette rushed to her shelf to dust off her music career. But that too would disappoint. In 1989, Annette reunited with pop star Frankie Avalon for her concert tour, where they intended to perform all of their 1960s pop hits. But that was when the actress started experiencing the symptoms of the disease that would eventually claim her life. Annette was fond of looking for love wherever she went, and in her little time in the music industry, caught in her web was songwriter Paul Anka. The actress wanted to take things slow and keep their love away from the eyes of the media, but Paul just didn't share the same vision. He wrote a love song about her puppy love, and as fate would have it, the song was a huge success, and it preached the message of their romance to everyone who cared to listen. Annette tried to make peace with her new reality, but it just didn't make sense to the people around her. She was only 17 at the time and had a successful career in front of her. Distractions were the last thing she needed at that point in her life. The two lovebirds fought hard for people to take them seriously, but it was a doomed romance. Their love died a natural death due to the demands of their careers. They were both occupied with their careers and could hardly find time to invest in their relationship. Paul, years later, would confess that he was not just drawn to the actress because of her beauty and talent alone. He described Annette as a woman who was self-possessed, determined, with incredible integrity. All these and more were why he regretted that she was not his happily ever after. In the late 80s, Annette was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a rare disease where the immune system attacks the covering of the nerves. According to the New York Times, the actress, instead of following the doctor's advice to slow down on all activities, would remain optimistic and started a charity to help other people like her get treatment for the disease. Annette kept all of these a secret until she couldn't hide it anymore. People were already misinterpreting her difficulty in walking as symptoms of heavy alcohol and drug influence. So, in 1992, she made the public announcement of her condition. But this time, it had gotten worse, as she needed a wheelchair to get around. But in all of it, Annette refused to be bogged down by her health. She read as much as she could about the sickness as she tried to assist the doctors in getting a cure. It was not easy, but the actress would also educate her children about the disease and tried to spend as much time as she could with them. Her symptoms got more intense, and at the peak of the disease's torment, the actress was fed through a tube, and it was very difficult for her to get through the day unassisted. Everyone knew that the end was near, but Annette and her husband, Glenn Holt, kept hope alive. Glenn always believed that one day he would see his wife alive and well. He also made sure that the doctors tried all experimental options that promised to make her symptoms lighter. Many magazines have written that Annette would have survived if all of these had happened in more developed times. Unfortunately, at the time they were seeking a cure, the disease was eating deep into her body, and the doctors couldn't even say for sure what it was that tormented her. A few months before her death, a popular video of her went public, and it attracted sympathy and support from all of her fans worldwide. The video recorded the actress's struggle to move and speak, but it is believed that her cognitive functions are still intact. After over 20 years of fighting sclerosis, Annette died in April 2013 at the age of 70. She was mourned by her husband, her children, and fans worldwide. Her legacy remains as one of the most talented Disney stars who, against all odds, managed to inspire a whole generation with her talent and unique personality. At the time of her death, Annette Funicello had an estimated net worth of $10 million. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos.